presented by kindofcoaches.com. My name is Blake Langford. I'm joined by Taylor Heath. What's up, man?
How you doing, man? Week 8.
Man, I am doing. This is episode 8, man, and I'm doing fantastic. We're gonna get into a lot of stuff today, but man, I just want to let everybody know we had an awesome boardroom meeting last night.
Yes.
So if you don't watch our Sunday night Twitch streams where we discuss what we're gonna do throughout the week and we play a little video games while we're at it, you should definitely be doing that. But we'll circle back to that at the end of the episode.
Yeah. I left last night pumped up, man.
Yeah.
So.
And today's been it just made me excited all day today too. Just like getting some things done.
Mm-hmm.
I made some big strides on my own social media. I'm trying to use Facebook, but it just makes me angry every time.
Just wait until you open a Facebook ads account, man. Then it's gonna get nasty.
So over the last week or so, we've accomplished a few things here. I finished a desk, which is going to get discussed thoroughly in just a few minutes here. And you invested in quite a bit of equipment, which we're also going to talk about. But yeah, so let's just jump right into this, man. So the topic for today is the 5 best setup tips for beginning content creators, or something like that. I think we're on like draft number 10 of the title for this episode and the topic, but it's essentially these are 5 things that we decided everyone needs to keep in mind and think about when they're designing their setup, their desk setup, their lighting, their audio, video, what kind of computer they're rocking, all that kind of stuff. So you want to kick this thing off, man? The first one we got is we're talking about a dedicated space for your setup, man. What you got?
And I'm the perfect person to deliver this one because I don't have a dedicated space. I stream and do all of my content from my bedroom. You can literally see my bed in my frame right now, which is hilarious because I went and bought a wide angle lens and it just ended up catching my bed. So you need... If you're going to start in content creation, you need to have a space, okay? So we're going to give you this advice from the ground up. And any kind of content creation, it requires a space. I call it my dojo, okay? I own this space. It might not be perfect, but it is where I come to conduct my business. So that is number 1. Blake, what do you got for number 2?
So I actually kind of carved out a dedicated space in one of the rooms of my house. We have a small house. It's a 2-bedroom house. One bedroom, of course, is the one that my wife and I inhabit, and the other one is kind of serving a dual purpose here. It's a guest bedroom as well as being my office. And very recently, I kind of carved out this little corner where you're seeing me if you're watching us on video or on our live stream. And I just kind of set it up to be my little office and streaming setup, and I tried to get some cool lights and make
it does look really good.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about lighting in a little bit and the giant amount of $20 I spent on it. But so that brings me around to the next big thing that I mentioned earlier, and that's that I finished my desk. So for anyone who doesn't know, I like to dabble in woodworking and making and the occasional, in this case, a little bit of a restoration. I bought a desk from a Habitat Restore for $5, and I've turned it into I would go ahead and just call it my dream desk. I'm a big fan of it. I like it a lot. But where was I? Right. So the desk that I made, I had a few things in mind when I was picking it out, and this is stuff you need to keep in mind too. Is how much space do you need? We were just talking about the dedicated space for your setup, but this is talking about the actual surface area on the desk. You can't see it in the video, but we are going to do some setup tours for both of us coming up very soon. But I wanted just a massive surface area, and I wanted to fill it with as little as possible, right? I wanted to keep it minimalist, but I wanted to have lots of real estate. It's kind of like wanting to live on a farm, man. I don't want to fill it full of stuff. I just want to be able to look out over all my glorious land. So I found a desk that was big. The tabletop actually ended up being, it's about 5.5 feet left to right, and it's a little more. It's about 3 feet deep. So, which ended up being perfect for me. It's the exact amount of space I needed. Nothing is wasted. I can set things in very specific places on this desk, and it looks good because it's not surrounded by clutter or anything like that. I don't feel cramped, even though I am back into a corner of my room. So, big desk. What you can't see on camera is there's drawers on either side of me. And I liked that because I get to hide stuff. So like I said, I want to keep it minimal. So on my desktop, there's like my keyboard and my mouse and my computer, and that's it. And then I have a coaster over here for a cup of water, and then I have a phone stand. That's it. That's it. Everything else can go in the drawers. I have remotes for all my lights I'm going to talk about later. I have notepads. I have headphones. I have a bunch of audio equipment in one of these drawers. I have a file drawer for all that kind of stuff. So I wanted a desk with drawers. I wanted a desk with big surface area. In terms of style, because that is important, and I did want to talk about kind of some design elements in this. I went for a modern look, but with a little bit of a rustic look to it as well. The desk itself, I refinished in like a flat black and an aged copper, I believe is the name of the color. So it's a little bit modern, but it still keeps a nice old vibe. And then the actual wooden top, man, it looks like I could have just went out into a barn and dug this thing out and just threw it on top of the desk is essentially what it looks like, but it's clean. Yeah, man. I don't know what else I could say about my desk right now. We are gonna do setup tours, and you'll see it in all its glory. And if you go follow me on Instagram, you can see a little bit of the process of me building it. But so what about you, man?
Yeah. I know so as far as our desks go, like me and Blake, we have the complete opposite. So he has a really nice desk with nothing on it, and I have a really crappy desk with just a ton of stuff on it. Way too much. I now know I have no landscape to maneuver. So now that I have all the equipment that I want, and you will see this equipment, we're going to cut a video on Thursday and hopefully have it up for you guys before the weekend's over. So I'm going to give you a desktop tour. I want to build my dream desk with all of my stuff on it. I want it to be big, and I want it to be just super minimalist. I want all the wiring to be hidden. So that is the step. That's the next step. Is now that I have the stuff, let's optimize it. To where it is hidden and it looks great. Because I mean, my desk doesn't look bad right now. It's just very cramped, and the wires are honestly giving me a little anxiety.
Cable management is real important, and even on my desk, as pretty as I tried to make it, the cable management is essentially a Band-Aid right now, and it's going to take a lot of work and planning. Of course, part of that is we both keep adding equipment to our setup and kind of changing things around. And once we get that really finalized, that's when you can sit down and dedicate a whole afternoon to hiding all those cables.
I think I have finalized for the most part. There's like some knickknacks here and there. I recently got a new camera, which if you guys are watching on Twitch, you can see. I got a stream deck. I'm set, man. I can literally do anything that the pros can do. So I was very excited about that. It took me all night to set all that stuff up. So moving on to number 3, we're going to talk about what else you need in your desk setup, and that's a computer. You're not going to do a whole lot of content creation without a computer. And before we move on to a computer, I want to circle back to the desk and say that me and Blake are going to handle this because he's going to build me one, and we're going to film it, and we're going to create the content, and we're going to show it to you guys, the step-by-step process. It's going to be more his area, but we are excited to bring you my journey to the ultimate desk setup. So moving on from the desk, we're going to move on to your computer. What you need is if you're going to create content on one computer, and not 2, which I don't recommend if you're just starting out. You're gonna need to build a custom PC, and I say custom in quotation marks. I have what's called a pre-built system. That's what Blake told me yesterday, at least. I bought it from CyberPower PC. It is really powerful as far as a Windows PC goes. Like, I'm running a ton of programs right now. I'm streaming live. I'm running Spotify. I'm running OBS. Cameras and all that stuff, and I think I'm using like 20% of the CPU. But I paid for it. Okay, I invested. I saved up a long time to get it. Well, I'm not going to go into the actual price. If you guys want to know that, you can hit me up on Twitter. But I think I have what's a good middle of the road, like. As far as like content creation goes, like, you can spend as much money as you want, but I think I have a good middle of the road PC. So CyberPower, I personally find a great company. Their support is fantastic. They never, they're always there when I need any troubleshooting or anything, which has been rare. Now, I don't want to speak for everybody. I have heard reports of, packages arriving damaged or, and I don't know how that would be CyberPower's fault, but just be warned when a PC is mailed, it might get damaged. So,
yeah, I wouldn't think that's completely a CyberPower PC problem, because I mean, let's just face it, the shipping industry, they don't always pay attention to what's in the box. And what, if there could be fragile written over it 7 times, they're still going to throw it around. And it's really unfortunate. And it's just the unfortunate part about shipping a computer is, I mean, it's a big box, often nowadays with a big glass side, and a lot of very delicate components that are put together for you. And that's the danger you face, is they're all put together, and they try to fill them up with packing foam that's custom formed to the components, but it's not perfect.
I was about to say, I paid extra to have that custom formed packing, and it came and it survived. I've never had a problem with it. I had a hardware issue, but that was with the hard drive. Like, I had a hard drive issue, but that didn't have anything to do with CyberPower. I think that was just the hard drive it was time for it. It's time,
Right.
It was probably all that terrible file management I was doing on it.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. That's a whole other discussion that we are going to have, but not today. So I went a different route. So these are both custom PCs, but his is a pre-built system by a boutique builder like CyberPower. There's also Origin PC. There's more that I can't think
of. Let's see, who else? There's a bunch of them, man. You can just go Google custom PCs.
iBuyPower is a big one.
Yeah.
But anyway, just real quick for reference, we talked about yours being kind of a middle of the road. And I do think that, that's accurate, and that's a decent place to start out. Let's just remember that the top of the line iMac Pros are upwards of $10,000, I think.
They just announced the new iMacs today. And
I guess the one that came out a year and a half to 2 years ago, I think you could get it all the way up to $10,000, which is a little ridiculous, and especially starting out, I don't think anyone needs that. But
$10,000.
Yeah, it's wild. But we're gonna stick to talking about PCs, and my PC is fully custom built in that I built it myself. Which, if you're someone that knows how to do that or is interested in doing that, I fully recommend doing it. But it's not for everyone.
It's definitely not for me.
I'm a giant nerd, and I've been taking apart and putting PCs back together since I was too young to understand the consequences of my actions. Let's just put it that way. And ruined a couple of computers in the process as a young child.
That's what I'm afraid of doing, is if I got into it, then I would just try to plug in the CPU and it would just be done, and I would have to pay for another CPU. He was like, well, that one's over.
Yeah, there is certainly some techniques involved and some knowledge that you need to have before you go into custom building a PC. Number one is compatibility. Not all components will work with each other. There's different manufacturers for processors and video cards and RAM and motherboards and all that stuff, and you got to make sure all that's good. What I recommend and how how I approached building this one. This is the second PC that I've built completely from nothing. I've kind of custom modded a few before that, but this is the second one that I've built from the ground up. And this time around, I followed several YouTube channels that are all tech oriented or PC building oriented, and 3 of those that I found the most useful. One of them is a really big one, and it's pretty obvious, and anyone who's into tech usually follows him. It's Linus Tech Tips or Linus Sebastian, Linus Media Group. I don't know which. I actually don't remember which one of those names. Those are all the names of his channel and company and all that. But that's a great channel just for seeing new innovations in technology and computer culture and stuff like that. Paul's Hardware is a really good one. I just like him as a personality. So he does a lot of really great builds. Usually he does a new PC build every month, and he goes through the whole process of building it and picking out the parts, and he makes the parts list for that public, so it's super easy to just go on, find it, order it, build it. And then there's a guy out there called Jay's 2 Cents, and Jay's 2 Cents, if you've never heard of him, does a lot of custom like really high-end PCs with water cooling and all that good stuff. And he pretty recently did a custom build for Post Malone, where he did a PC that was kind of inspired by the Beer Bongs and Bentley's album. So it was a lot of yellow, lots of like guitar strings and Bentley inspired metalwork, and the water coolant was made to look like Bud Light. So it was really interesting, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I need to go watch that.
Definitely a kind of a worlds colliding moment of seeing this tech journalist basically sitting right next to Post Malone. Some very different personalities there, but it was great. It was a lot of fun. And he also did a custom PC for Terry Crews that was Old Spice themed, and that was pretty great. But anyway, so Linus Tech Tips, Paul's Hardware, Jay's 2 Cents, 3 great channels. There's a ton of them out there. There's an absolute ton of tech tubers out there. Yeah. And a lot of them are really good. Those are just the 3 that I still watch their content today, even though I haven't needed to build a PC in a long time. But I still check out their content, and it's still entertaining. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about, so that was the PC. You want to get something, I guess before I totally move on from PC, I should just give a few tips on performance. So anytime you're producing content, you want to have as much headroom as possible in your performance. So, you want a good processor, you want lots of RAM, you probably want a good video card for video editing and production and color accuracy. And if you're going to be Twitch streaming and gaming and all that kind of stuff, obviously you need a decent graphics card. I'm not going to give specific recommendations. I'm going to recommend just going out there, doing some market research, find the components that work well for you. And if you have any specific questions, please contact me on Twitter if you want, and I'll do my best to answer or point you direction that to someone that can give you a good answer. So, all right, now moving on, we're going to talk about lighting and setting. So lighting and setting, if you look in my video, for those of you that are able to watch us on YouTube or on Twitch, you can see that I have some red and blue lights in my background. What you can't see is also I have a light in front of my face. So let's just talk about real quick the kind of the basic lights that you should have to make your stream or make your video content look good. And I want to start out by saying I'm not an expert in cinematography. I'm not an expert in lighting or any of that. I'm learning as I go, but these are things that I've learned from trial and error. So the first light that you need is a light for your face, your beautiful face that you want in your videos. And what I'm using for that is right in front of me here. And the light fixture that I'm using is a $7 clamp light from Walmart. and it's made to like you can throw it up. I actually had this in my wood shop for a while until I got fluorescent lights, and you just clamp it to something, plug it in, and boom, there's a light.
Real quick,
you can,
the light in front of your face is called the key light. Okay, so
boom.
you can find a lot of options. Like if you just go looking for like content creation lighting, you're not gonna find a lot. But if you start looking for key lighting, you can actually start to dig into some stuff. Sorry, I just wanted you to have the correct terms.
Thank you. Yeah. See, not an expert, but we're there. So the key light, and what I went with, like I said, was a $7 solution from Walmart. Super easy, super cheap.
Yeah.
I believe I have one of those, the Edison LED bulbs in there. So it's a nice warm light. It's not super bright. It could maybe be a little brighter. And then in order to diffuse that, and light diffusion is basically you want to either bounce the light off something or put the light through something that's going to kind of dull it out and take away the shine on your face. And what I did is I took a clothespin and a piece of white 8.5 by 11 paper, and I clothespin that piece of paper right in front of that light.
Man.
So it's shining through that piece of paper, and that's what's giving me that light from there. So there's other options, of course. There's the LED panels that Taylor's going to talk about in a second. There's soft boxes. There's all kinds of expensive stuff. I did it with a $7 clamp light and a piece of paper.
You have a soft piece of paper.
Yes, it is a very soft box. It is not even a box.
So when we're talking about professional equipment, I by no means have professional equipment. I do, however, have an LED panel that I got from Amazon for about $30 and a tripod. And it is mounted above my head, like probably halfway between the floor and the ceiling, and it is at a 45-degree angle. I'm still kind of working with the settings and stuff. I don't think it is as optimized as possible, just because I don't really know what I'm doing. But I mean, I think it looks good right now. I also got another light that can mount on my camera, which I think, we're talking about here in a minute. So it can be kind of taken off and then used in other places. So the thing about having a pro light setup is they say to have it, it's a 3-point system. You have a key light, a fill light, and what's the other one?
I was thinking like a hair light, maybe.
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to go look up the YouTube video that I watched. But it's just go look up 3-point light and you'll find a bunch of videos. You do not have to go spend $200 on the Elgato key light. If you do, then I will be disappointed in you, because I bought this LED panel for I think altogether it was $40. Okay, and Elgato's trying to. Now I enjoy Elgato's equipment, but I think $200 for an LED panel is a little ridiculous.
It's a little silly.
Now the thing about the key light is it is pretty good quality, and you can control it with the Stream Deck, which I have, which we will talk about in another episode or something. But as far as lighting goes, I have a key light, I have a fill light, which is a architect's lamp that is just pointed at my face that does color correction and stuff like that. And then I have my overhead light on, and I also have a ring light that is behind me. Like if you're watching, it's behind me and it's pointed down at me at the back. So that's what I'm working with now, and I'm always trying to finagle it, I guess. So let me tell you, lighting is difficult because lights cause shadows, and like I still haven't figured out how to get rid of them. So
I wanted the other half of the lighting kind of point was setting.
Yeah.
And I'm using lighting in my setting. We talked about the space and how I carved out a little corner of this room. I chose this corner because I also have like my bookshelves and some bags with mallets for playing music and stuff like that. I thought it would make a pretty cool backdrop, because I'm not using a green screen, and I didn't want it just to look like I was in a bedroom, even though I am. Mm-hmm. So I kind of built my backdrop there, and then the lighting that I'm using using in my backdrop. So I've got a red light and a blue light that I just got, and those are I believe it was $17 on Amazon for a 2-pack of RGB bulbs. They're not Wi-Fi, they're not smart, they're controlled with one of those little tiny remotes. I've got it right here for anybody watching the video, and I can change the lights on either one of those. And like I said, $17 for some cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's super cool.
The one above my head here that I'm kind of bouncing off the wall and using a little bit as a hair and fill light, that's another one of those $7 clamp lights. And then I have a lamp behind me here that I think I found at a bargain store for like $7 or $8. And I just put those bulbs in there and I set the colors that I thought kind of worked the best, and it seems to work out. And I have my overhead light off. I like to keep it a little bit darker so that you just get this light here, because the overhead light, I think, for me would cause some shadows, and it's very bright. I have a really bright LED overhead light. So that's what I went for. I went for dark with a little bit of color accent, and then just the main light is that one that's right in front of my face. Mm-hmm. I also have a string of Christmas lights around this room, but they don't really come into effect on these videos.
Yeah, that doesn't count as lighting. So moving on from lighting, when you have all your stuff together and you think you're ready to go, you're going to have to find some way to get your desk and your setup and your content to the world. So you're talking about your audio and you're talking about your video. Now, I probably spent I don't want to say spent, I invested the most amount of money in my microphone, and, well, not my camera. I bought a new camera, so I did invest in my microphone, my boom arm, my camera. They're all sweet. They all work very well. They all sound good. They all look good. The camera is a Canon Vixia HF800. It's the entry level camcorder. It is by no means a like ultimate YouTuber's camcorder or anything, but you can take it and shoot some pretty good quality videos if your lighting is right. Now, don't go buy this $200 camcorder and go take some videos in poor lighting and get mad at Canon for being a terrible videographer.
Or get mad at you for recommending it.
Yeah. Exactly. but as you see, like, if you're watching, I'm sorry for those at home. I know we keep going back to the if you're watching, but you can see that as the more light that you put on the subject, the better the image looks. So just keep that in mind. I also have a wide angle lens on my camera. That was about $20 on Amazon. So yeah, and I just love collecting this kind of stuff. My microphone is a Audio-Technica something, and it is connected to a Blue Compass. What is this? Boom arm. Sorry.
Boom arm.
And so my microphone goes through what is called a Go XLR mixer, and it goes into my computer and then out to you guys. So
let's talk a little bit about the Go XLR.
I will briefly describe the Go XLR.
Because that's probably
the Go XLR is a all-in-one mixer, sampler, voice modulator. You can just do so much stuff with it, and it is on the high end.
But you really can just add a lot of. Now, if you were getting into the stream game like I am, if you think this is necessary for content creation, don't think it's necessary. It is not. I thought it was cool. A buddy of mine gave me a really good deal on it. So don't make that mistake. It is a fun toy that I enjoy. So that's what I will say about the Go XLR. There will be more content on our YouTube channel about that very soon.
It is a good piece of equipment.
It is.
Like, don't get us wrong.
Don't get it twisted. It is a very powerful. Because to have a mixer and a sampler in one package is, I don't think that's ever been done before.
It's out there, but that's probably the most user friendly.
Yeah, for sure.
Thing I've ever seen for it, and and to kind of wrap it all up. And I don't know. That's the biggest thing for me is I don't have one, but I've watched you use it, and I've watched plenty of other people use it, and just the kind of intuitive nature of it, and the ease of
the barrier to entry is very low.
Yes, and that is very appealing, because like if someone like me with a little bit more experience in running sound and doing that sort of thing, like I want to get a big mixer just because that's fun for me, But if if you're not looking for something like that, the Go XLR actually is a great tool. It is on a little bit of the pricey side if you're buying it brand new, so know that. But let's talk about my audio and video setup, because only one thing in my setup was bought new, and that is the camera. The camera that I'm using is a Logitech C920.
No way.
Which is like I think normally it's like $55 or $60 on Amazon. It goes on sale like once every 3 minutes for like 45 or lower. They actually did a sale where like the model up from this ended up being the same price, and they did that sale the day after I placed my order for this one. I was so mad. I almost canceled the order and then ordered the better one, but I just kind of said whatever. But anyway, so Logitech C920, it's a great starter webcam. It's the one that everyone recommended to me.
Basically every webcam on Twitch is a Logitech C920.
Right. And I think it works great. I guess you could judge that if you want to go to our YouTube channel and check out the video of this podcast and tell me if it works great or not. But that is the only thing that I bought new in this whole audio video setup. So all of my audio stuff I found on the great, wonderful Craigslist. And so I'm rocking, just for this, I have an Audio-Technica. I don't remember the model number, but it's a dynamic mic. It's a different one from Taylor's, but it's a great mic. For what it is. So I have that. I have a pop filter. I have a boom arm, and all of that I just said I got 2 of. So I got 2 mics, 2 pop filters, 2 boom arms, 2 mic cables, and a Scarlett 2i2 by Focusrite is the audio interface. I got all of that for under $100 off a guy on Craigslist. So I'm not saying that you need to go out.
That's a really good deal.
You're going to find that deal, but you might if you look hard enough. If you look around Craigslist and you look around Facebook Marketplace and you don't mind, I had to drive a good 30 or 45 minutes to go get this, but that was worth it for me, because that is a fantastic deal. It all works fine. The boom arm and the pop filter and everything are all kind of cheap. That's one thing I got to replace. If I move this thing, it's going to sound like a crane has landed on top of our stream. So know that, but which I guess it doesn't matter. It's not like you're going to go out and get the exact same deal that I had, but go check out Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. You might find some good deals. I check it every single morning and every single night. Of course, I'm also usually looking for old furniture and wood and stuff like that, but I also keep my eye on the electronics section, and that's where I found this. So if you look hard enough, you can find some great used deals on stuff, and accomplish a really great sound that way. And if I wanted to, and I probably will, I will probably sell both of these microphones and boom arms and pop filters and all that, and buy like one slightly better version, because I could sell these microphones are in perfect condition. People still use them today. People still buy them. I could sell them both, and with all the other stuff other than the interface, I'd keep that and go and get a newer, better microphone if I wanted to, and probably not really lose that much money off of it.
So that is, that is gonna really do it for the 5 things to think about when designing a desktop setup. You're gonna need a dedicated space for your desk. You're gonna need a desk for your rig. You're gonna need a lighting setup to see everything. You're gonna need audio and video equipment to make the actual content. And you're gonna need, man, I skipped one. Which one did I skip? Oh, did I not? No, you need a desk. You need a desk to put everything. So, I should probably do that again, but I'm not. So here we go. Moving on.
Just to kind of wrap, to wrap all that up, we kind of reviewed everything we talked about. I know you don't have a lot of changes you're gonna make other than the new desk, right?
Yeah, so I'm done with my desk, which is a fantastic feeling to be done with it, to have everything that you want. Now it needs to be optimized and perfected, and that is the journey that I plan, and I can't wait to take and make some videos about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very excited to make that desk because I love making things, and that's what I do. So I'm definitely super hyped about that. I do have some changes that I will be making to mine. Like I kind of mentioned just a second ago, I do want to upgrade some of my audio gear. I want a better boom arm. I want a condenser mic, not a dynamic one, because the dynamic mic, I have to have my mouth practically over the microphone in order to get a good, nice tone.
If you guys want to know what the difference in a condenser and a dynamic mic, you're listening to it right now. I'm using a condenser right now, and Blake is using a dynamic right now. And his, honestly, when you put it in the audio, the podcast listeners probably won't be able to tell the difference because once you edit it. But
yeah. I mean, I love the way this one sounds. Don't get me wrong, but the beauty of the condenser mic is you can be a little bit further back from it. So if we're making just straight up YouTube content, like this is a podcast, so I don't mind getting all the way up on my microphone and talking to the camera out of the side of my face like this, But if I was just making straight up YouTube content, I would want to get the microphone out of the way as much as I could, right? So that's either using a lapel mic, the one you clip on your shirt, or getting a mic that I can hide slightly below frame or slightly above frame that would still pick me up fine but be out of the shot, and so all you see is me or whatever it is that I wanted you to see and not the microphone in my face. So that's one thing I might look into upgrading. Like I said, I really want a new boom arm. This boom arm is I mean, I think brand new, these are $15 or $20 and it's fine for that. And the less you have to move your mic stand or boom arm or whatever, it'll be fine. But for me, I like pushing it out of the way, getting it, moving it around. If I adjust myself in my seat, I need to move the boom arm a little bit. And right now it's kind of a hassle and it's very loud when I do that. So the little things like that. I do want to get a mixer at some point, and just little incremental upgrades for me
knickknacks
is what's going to happen. Yeah.
The way I did it is I put everything that I wanted in an Amazon cart, and I knew exactly how much it was going to be. And I split that into 3 things. I bought my PC, I bought my audio, and then I bought my video equipment. And I just finished my video. Know what you want, go save your money, knock it out. That's what I did. That's what I recommend. If you're serious about getting your desktop together, all right. That's about it on desktops for today. Yeah. We're going to do more desktop content coming up.
Yeah, we like it. We've done a lot of work on our own setups, and we want to share that with everybody and get some content out of that. We think that'd be a lot of fun. You got something you want to review?
Speaking of desktops, let's do a desktop product review. Let's make it quick though. We're running kind of long.
Okay, I'll go first, and my desktop product review is going to be my desktop.
Nice.
Yes. Like I said earlier, you can and if you, I'll plug my own Instagram in a little bit, but if you go check that out, you'll see some of my process shots of building this desktop and restoring the desk. But it was a long haul. I searched for like weeks for the perfect reclaimed wood, old character, whatever thing to use for the desktop. Didn't find anything. Had to make it all myself. But yeah, so my new desk and desktop, I'd say this is going to sound crazy because I made it, but I'm giving it a 9 whistles out of 10 whistles.
Tough critic.
The only reason I'm dropping it that 1 point, there's 2 factors. One, if I open any of these drawers or if I lay my hand down too hard on this desk, it is made of metal underneath the wood top, and it sounds like an earthquake happens in terms of the microphone. That's partly because of the crappy boom arm, but I don't want to put any of our listeners through that, so I'm not gonna put that on display. And two, I had to use the stain I used and the wood I used. The wood was what they call very thirsty, and it drank up all the wood stain, and I had to use a ton of it to get the color that I wanted and the consistency. And for the next like week after my desk was finished, I could smell it all through my house because it was still drying over the course of the next week. So it kind of stank a little, and then it's just very loud sometimes if I'm opening the drawers with a microphone going. So
Yes,
9 whistles out of 10.
It is a very loud.
But I love it. I'm proud of myself if I can toot my own whistle. 9 whistles out of 10. All right, what you got?
Did I do the Go XLR yet?
I think so. I think we did it a couple episodes ago.
I can't remember. Okay, I'm not gonna do the Go XLR. I'm gonna do. Let's just do the Stream Deck. The Stream Deck is it is a pad full of buttons made by Elgato. It is a macro keyboard. You can literally assign any key binding to any one of the buttons. You can fully customize the icons so they're completely LED. You can go on online and find some really sick icons. So you can I have OBS mapped into it, and I can go live. I can start recording. I can move scenes around, and I can do a lot of video editing and audio editing in Adobe through the Stream Deck, and I just think it's a fantastic piece of equipment. Let's see. Would I give it a perfect score?
Ooh.
I haven't found any.
I can think of one reason to not give it quite a perfect score, but
well, it's a good thing that you're not doing the desktop product review.
Yeah.
I will not give it a perfect score. I think that the base stand is a little for something that is such a high quality, like, boutique item. That's just a piece of plastic holding that thing up. I would give it I want to give it an 8, just on the sheer fact that it is a black piece of plastic with some buttons that they charged an outrageous amount of money for.
Yeah, that was the point that I would make.
Listen, man, you can go find some deals on this. I'll tell you, I did not pay full price for mine. You just got to know where to look. If you pay any more than $150 for it, you're doing it wrong.
I definitely this is a long way off because this is April 1st, but if you can wait all the way till Black Friday, they always throw those things on a huge sale.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Stream Deck for me right now, 8 out of 10 whistles. I love it so far. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna continue to use it. Maybe we'll bump that score up a little bit.
Yeah, that thing. I mean, the possibilities are almost endless once you figure out.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You can add folders and subfolders in those folders, and you can do a whole bunch of stuff with that. But that is another thing I might get.
Yeah.
I might get it.
That is a Christmas present just waiting to happen.
All right, that pretty much does it. We're trying to streamline things a little bit. This podcast might sound a little bit different from some of our last ones. If you liked it, please let us know. If you hated it, please let us know. We appreciate feedback, and we're trying to shape this thing in a way that appeals to all of you guys that listen and watch us. So anyway, this you can find Taylor at KOC_Taylor on his Twitter. You can find me. I know you told me not to do it, but I did it anyway.
It's okay.
You can find me at KOC_Blake. Please tweet us with suggestions for what you want us to talk about, questions you have. I know we didn't get too specific in this because it would have been a 4-hour podcast if we did.
If you want,
but I would love to answer any specific question you have. Send it to me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or wherever. Speaking of Instagram, that's a big thing that I kind of didn't really mention yet. I changed my Instagram name. I rebranded myself. Thanks to Taylor, I am now Peck Mountain Design on Instagram.
Yeah.
So that is the handle that I'm running with for my making and woodworking and home renovation and all of that stuff. I'm gonna give that a run. I'm a big consumer of content in that community, and I love that community of makers and woodworkers, and I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait. I can't wait to
design.
I'm sorry. Go.
Add Peck Mountain Design on Instagram is my new Instagram name. Please go check me out if you're at all into making and woodworking, and a lot of stuff that I've already done is on there, and I got big plans coming up for that.
Good.
And also a YouTube channel coming up.
Good.
Sort of soon, but well, nothing up there yet. All right, you can find us at Kind of Coaches on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. Kind of Coaches, and of course kindofcoaches.com. Be sure to go and follow us on Twitch, and hit the little notification heart follow icon, whatever it is, and that will let you know when we go live. We usually stream our podcast live on Twitch every Monday at 7. That has not been true for a few weeks, but we're trying. We're getting there.
We usually stream it Mondays at 9.
Well, yeah, lately, yeah. But anyway, so we do stream our podcast recording live, and then we release them on Tuesdays. So please go follow us on Instagram, go follow us on Twitch so you can watch the live recording. But you got anything else, man?
No, that's gonna do it.
All right, man. This has been Probably Professionals, a podcast presented by kindofcoaches.com. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Subscribe to us on all of our things. Bye.
We gotta go. It's time.